Right now, across the United States, there are brand new travel trailers sitting on dealer lots that have not moved in over 200 days. They have never been towed, they have never seen a campsite, and they are losing thousands of dollars in value every single month they sit there collecting dust. The recreational vehicle industry shipped over 342,000 units in 2025, but in 2026, shipments have collapsed by more than 13%. Dealers are drowning in inventory they cannot sell, and the models piling up are not random. They are the same brands, built by the same factories, using the same cheap materials that the Wall Street Journal just exposed in a damning federal investigation. These are the 12 travel trailers nobody wants in 2026. And when you see the data, you will understand exactly why. If you walk onto any major recreational vehicle dealership lot in America right now, you will notice something the salespeople desperately hope you do not see. The back rows are full, not with trade-ins or older models, but with brand new 2025 units that should have sold months ago. According to industry data, roughly half of all new recreational vehicle inventory in the United States has been sitting for longer than 90 days. That aging inventory is costing American dealers an estimated $65 million every single month in carrying costs alone. And the dealers who cannot absorb those losses are disappearing. Lazydays Holdings, one of the largest RV dealer chains in the country, reported a $180 million net loss in 2024. By November of 2025, the company had delisted from the NASDAQ stock exchange. Its shares were trading at 42 cents. Camping World, the biggest name in RV retail, closed more than 16 stores in a single year. This is not a temporary slowdown. This is a market correction driven by a simple reality. The factories in Elkhart, Indiana, built too many units, built them too fast, and built them too cheaply. The RV Industry Association originally forecast a 3.6% increase in shipments for 2026. They have since slashed that number to a projected 8.2% decline. That is a stunning reversal. But the part the industry does not want you to hear is that not every trailer on these lots is sitting there for the same reason. Some of these trailers are victims of oversaturation. Others are victims of their own engineering, and a few are sitting unsold because federal investigators have opened active safety probes into their structural integrity. Let us start with the models drowning in their own supply. The Dutchman Coleman line, manufactured by Thor Industries, currently represents nearly 5% of the entire American recreational vehicle market. That sounds impressive until you realize what it actually means. There are so many Coleman units on dealer lots right now that they are cannibalizing each other's sales. The Coleman 17R trim has an average lot age of 228 days. That is more than 7.5 months sitting unsold on the pavement. The Coleman 17B and the Coleman 13B are in the same position, with thousands of units spread across the country, creating a wall of identical inventory that dealers cannot move without slashing prices below their own cost. Next on the list is the Forest River Salem Cruise Light. This is not just an oversupply problem. This is a quality disaster. One documented owner of a 2024 Salem Cruise Light reported that the unit spent over 440 days in the service shop across 6 separate repair attempts in 16 months. The problems included water intrusion, mold growth, and complete slide-out failure. Forest River allegedly refused to authorize a buyback. Industry data shows the average warranty repair across all brands takes over 50 days, and when parts are out of stock, that number climbs to 73 days. Owners are making monthly payments and paying insurance on a vehicle that is gathering dust in a service lot. The Forest River Wildwood sits right alongside its Salem sibling, and most buyers do not know this because the Wildwood and Salem lines are effectively the same trailer sold under different stickers. In 2025, the federal government recalled over 2,200 Salem and Wildwood units for incorrect fireplace outlet wiring that created a direct fire risk. When you recall a product because the electrical system might burn down the vehicle, you have a fundamental manufacturing problem. Then there is the Coachman Catalina, another brand that most buyers assume is independent, but is actually manufactured by Forest River under the Berkshire Hathaway umbrella. The 2025 Catalina and its sister model, the Aurora, were both recalled because their gross vehicle weight rating placards exceeded the actual safety chain ratings. That means the trailer was labeled as safe to tow at weights that could snap the safety chains during an emergency separation. If that chain fails at highway speed, you have a runaway trailer heading into oncoming traffic. But oversupply and recalls are only part of the story. The real nightmare hiding on these dealer lots involves something far more dangerous. The Keystone Passport has been a staple of the entry-level travel trailer market for years, but owners of recent models are reporting catastrophic failures that Keystone refuses to cover under warranty. One owner of a 2023 Passport reported that the air conditioning system failed 4 separate times within a single year and that the exterior wall panel was physically pulling away from the frame. That owner described the brand as the worst purchase of their life. The Keystone Hideout tells a similar story. Owners of the 28 RKS and the 176 BH report roof leaks beginning on the very first day of ownership. One documented case involved mold growth so severe that the owners lost 2 mattresses and all 3 slide-out roofs required complete replacement. These are not problems that develop after years of hard use. These are defects that exist the moment the trailer leaves the factory floor. Why does this keep happening across so many brands? Because of a compensation system called piece rate pay. In the recreational vehicle factories of Elkhart, Indiana, workers are not paid by the hour. They are paid based on how many units they push out the door. During the pandemic boom, production targets reportedly doubled at some plants. One Winnebago factory worker told the Indy Star he went from building 16 units a day to 36. The trailers assembled during that frantic era became known in the recreational vehicle community as COVID trailers, and many of them are the exact models now rotting on dealer lots as their original owners trade them in at devastating losses. The Wall Street Journal published an investigation on June 24, 2025 that revealed Forest River had issued 505 recalls between 2015 and 2024. That is more recalls than Ford Motor Company issued during the same period. Ford had 458. Forest River, a company that most Americans have never heard of, out-recalled one of the largest automakers on Earth. The journal documented factory workers who punctured microwaves with screws that were too long, furnace exhaust vents that did not line up with their flues, and a 2023 recall of 50 towable campers because the factory inserted the wrong fuse after running out of the correct size. Forest River paid a $5 million federal fine in 2015 for failing to properly report defects to regulators. The Forest River Rockwood Ultra Light carries all of these systemic failures in a package specifically marketed as a premium lightweight option. Long-term owners report recurring delamination at the wall seams. One owner of a 2020 Rockwood Ultralight reported that the bedroom slide wall had suffered major delamination and that the inverter inside the wall caught fire. When a component inside your wall ignites, lightweight construction is not a feature. It is an accelerant. But the most alarming entry on this list involves a brand that many buyers consider a step above the rest. Grand Design, which is owned by Winnebago, built its entire reputation on superior customer service and higher build quality. That reputation is now the subject of a federal investigation. In October of 2024, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration opened an active probe covering 55,887 Grand Design, Momentum, and Solitude fifth wheels from model years 2017 through 2023. Owners reported that the frames were flexing so severely during towing that cargo doors and entry doors were flying open on the highway. One injury was reported. On 2020 through 2023 models alone, 125 complaints were filed with the federal government, with 91 specifically citing frame failure. In April of 2025, a national law firm filed a class action lawsuit alleging that Winnebago knew about the defects and marketed the vehicles deceptively. Separately, investigative journalists reported that the company had used non-disclosure agreements and private buybacks to keep frame failures out of the public eye. Many of the owners involved had spent over $100,000 on these units. The 12th trailer on this list is a cautionary tale about depreciation rather than defects. The Intech Luna Rover carried a manufacturer's suggested retail price of $26,550 in 2025. 1 year later, used 2024 models were listed for $19,900. That is a loss of more than $6,000 in 12 months on a trailer that was already positioned as affordable. But depreciation is not just about individual models. It is a market-wide force that is being amplified by the current inventory glut. Used recreational vehicles are selling 67% faster than new units right now because buyers have figured out that a 1 or 2 year old trailer gives you the same features at a fraction of the price, while letting somebody else absorb that brutal first-year loss. And the new units sitting on lots are depreciating every single day they sit there, which means the dealers holding them are watching their equity evaporate in real time. So does this mean you should avoid the RV market entirely? No, but it means you need to understand what separates the trailers that hold their value from the ones that become worthless. The common thread among every problem trailer on this list is the same material: laminated sandwich walls built with a cheap wood substrate called luan plywood. When water penetrates the seals, and it always does, eventually, the luan absorbs moisture, the adhesive fails, and the fiberglass skin begins to bubble and separate from the frame. This condition is called delamination, and once it starts, the damage is irreversible. You cannot reglue rotted wood. What was once a $40,000 or $50,000 family investment becomes a total loss that no dealership will accept as a trade-in. The trailers that survive are built differently. Oliver Travel Trailers, a small manufacturer in Hohenwald, Tennessee, builds double-hull molded fiberglass shells with no wood anywhere in the structure. There is nothing to rot, and there are no seams to leak. They produce roughly 100 units per year. They carry a 5-year structural warranty, and 10-year-old Oliver trailers routinely sell for 70 to 80% of their original price. Airstream still uses its signature riveted aluminum body, which means water intrusion does not cause structural failure the way it does in a laminated wall. Well-maintained Airstreams sell within 10 to 15% of their original price after a full decade. And molded fiberglass builders like Casita and Escape offer composite construction that resists the water intrusion failure entirely. The recreational vehicle industry built a machine designed to produce volume, not quality. The piece rate pay system rewards speed, the laminated wall design minimizes cost, and the duopoly of Thor Industries and Forest River means there is almost no competitive pressure to change. The 12 trailers on this list are not random failures. They are the predictable output of a system that prioritizes quarterly earnings over the families financing these purchases with their savings. The recalls are public record, the federal investigations are open, the dealer collapses are documented. Your only job is to read the evidence before you sign the contract, not after the walls start to bubble. If you found this investigation valuable, hit subscribe so you do not miss the next one. The industry is counting on you not paying attention. Do not let them be right.